AI content tools could be secretly sabotaging your search engine rankings. I am going to tell you why, and then I'm going to tell you how you can use AI to create better content than you ever have before. So imagine this. You just received another batch of fresh blog posts from your marketing team in record time. This has been happening on a consistent basis, and they immediately get posted to your website. This sounds amazing, right? You're a mortgage lender, private lender, or real estate brokerage, or in a similar business, and you need to have this box checked if you're going to compete. 3 months later, you discover that your search rankings haven't improved at all and may have even dropped. You're justifiably concerned. So what happened? I'll tell you what may have happened. There's a good chance Google crawled your content and determined that it was written by ChatGPT, Gemini, Jasper, or some other AI tool with little or no sign of any human added value. I'm not at all here to slam the use of AI. Quite the opposite. I love it. But like I said, I want to tell you the right way and the wrong way to use it when creating content. As Jason Bressler, EVP and CTO of United Wholesale Mortgage, shared at the recent MISMO Summit, people won't be replaced by AI, but people who do not use it will. So it's important that we all understand what AI is good at and what it's not good at in the realm of creating marketing content. So let's jump in. We have access to automated content writers and analyzers now, including SERP, ClearScope, Jasper, Writer, ChatGPT, Gemini, CastMagic, and so many others. They all have their pros and cons and provide everything from headline suggestions and ensuring SEO-ready content to converting audio conversations to content and much more. There are many great ways to use these tools when writing copy, but many ways to abuse them as well. So let's get the ugly side out of the way first. The worst possible way that you can use AI is to generate copy of any kind, whether it's a headline, social post, article, white paper, or anything else with no human review or interaction. Just accepting what it spits out and assuming that it's smarter than you and knows your audience better and what will resonate with them is just plain dangerous. In fact, it could be the 8th deadly sin because it is so bad for you and your brand. This doesn't mean that just because you review the copy, move some words around, and inject some self-generated content that you're okay. If the vast majority of your copy is still AI generated, you're still taking the shortcut and not adding actual value. There are risks to using AI generated copy that can get you into real trouble from a search engine quality and originality perspective. According to Neil Patel, human written copy ranks higher 94.12% of the time. Also, on average, AI written content generates less than 20% of the traffic of human written content, and it doesn't stop there. AI written content has telltale signs like repetitiveness, inconsistencies, factually incorrect information. It also has a formulaic structure that makes it read like it's canned or uses unnatural phrasing that reads awkwardly. Google's algorithm is able to detect much of this, which is why AI content doesn't perform well in search. So let's look at some of these risks in more depth. First, there's plagiarism. All AI does is take information that is already available on the internet and regurgitates it. In fact, there was a study that showed that 60% of ChatGPT outlet contained plagiarism on average. So why should you expect to be rewarded in search rankings for something that includes plagiarized copy, offers no original thought, personality, or depth? Google's guidelines state that if you want to be successful in Google search, you need to produce original, high-quality content that is written with people in mind, not the search engine. After all, if you really are thinking about your target audience and giving them good information, you would not offshore the assignment to ChatGPT or some other tool without substantial human interaction. You would use AI as a starting point to suggest some ideas or provide a rough outline to get started. Write it yourself so it adds a human touch and ensure its value. You would use information that comes from your own research or experience. Google had a recent core update that dealt with spam and low quality content. This core update resulted in a 45% reduction in poor quality spammy content. There were many legitimate companies that suffered huge hits in their search rankings in mid-April when the rollout was complete. Secondly, it does a poor job of connecting with your target audience. Have you ever had a conversation with someone and noted that they kept it very superficial, even when you tried to engage them at a deeper level? Not just briefly, but throughout an entire conversation? How would you feel about spending dinner with this person or going to a game with them? The answer is that you just wouldn't. That person may have been very pleasant, well-spoken, and polite, but not someone that you could enjoy dinner with. You may even think they didn't really like you or care about even meeting you. This lack of connection is what happens when you use an AI content generator to produce and distribute content that has no human or limited human interaction with it. If you don't think Google can pick up on this, think again. This is not 2010. Google is much older and wiser now, especially after recent updates. Thirdly, it can provide bad information. AI is trained on data fed to it by humans. Humans have biases and can be factually inaccurate at times and can generally provide a lot of nuanced information. Therefore, the output is only as good as the data input. Even though you can expect to see a lot of high quality information from an AI tool, you can also expect to receive information of very low quality as well. For example, AI can hallucinate answers to your questions, and here's how that works. AI tools are trained by large sets of data, which they then analyze to find patterns and make predictions. Biased information can lead the tool to make false predictions based on recognizing patterns that don't exist. This is how hallucinations are created. Maybe you heard about the law firm that introduced a legal brief with cases to defend their argument to a judge, and when the defendant's team raised concerns about the validity of the cases cited, the prosecution was forced to admit to using ChatGPT to create their brief. Ultimately, because of this, the case was dismissed and the prosecution was fined. The key here is to use AI as your assistant rather than your replacement. So here are some ways I use AI that will help you immensely in terms of saving time and providing more thoughtful content than you ever have before. First, you can use it for keyword research. When you're writing content that you want to rank well in search engines, it's important to integrate the right keywords and phrases. Using AI tools like SERP, SEMrush, Ahrefs, and Moz can help you identify keywords and phrases so that you can appropriately use them within your content. These tools can also help you uncover hidden opportunities through analyzing your competitors' content and understand the search intent behind keywords so you can tailor your content. Another good use of AI is for generating ideas. You may have so much content on your website already that it's hard to come up with some new, fresh ideas for blog posts. Or maybe you are tasked with writing a white paper about a topic that you know well, but you need some ideas for titles that will be concise yet compelling. Or maybe you need an outline suggestion for a writing project to help you get it off the ground. When the tool you select completes the task, put yourself in the shoes of your audience when you review the output, and be sure to manipulate the output to make it yours and ensure it truly fits your target audience. One more thing you can do, especially if you already have a ton of content, is use AI to suggest ways to repurpose existing content to get more mileage out of it. But note, when you're using an AI tool for generating ideas, always remember that the tool is learning from your input. So if you're writing on a topic or developing headlines or outlines that you don't want to be made public, be very cautious about what you type into the tool, or just don't use it at all. Another good use is for developing content clusters. Content clustering is an SEO strategy that helps you come up with a package of content that includes a pillar page title or topic and a cluster of other page topics that fall underneath the pillar topic. For example, if you were to go to Gemini and prompt it to create a content cluster around marketing for real estate brokerages, it will provide you with a suggested title for a pillar page, cluster page titles, blog post titles, and other content that supports the pillar page. This is a great way to use AI because it helps get the creative juices flowing. Again, always add your human touch. It may be easy to just accept what the tool provides, but you need to manage it so that the tool doesn't end up managing you and your brand by extension. And finally, another great use is for proofreading. If you want to check your blog post for errors, a good AI tool can go beyond typical spell checks or grammar issues and also check for syntax errors. But again, I must point this out, be careful, because if you're proofing content for an ebook, white paper, case study, press release, or anything else that contains sensitive, non-public information, do not even think about using ChatGPT, Jasper, Gemini, or any other tool that is not what we call a walled garden or a closed ecosystem. As I stated earlier, these items will become part of the public domain. Instead, stick with whatever functionality is available within Microsoft Word or similar programs, then use a professional proofreader for a final look. AI can be of tremendous value to content creators if used properly as an assistant. Using it without human input to complete assignments intended to provide something of value to your audience is where you can go wrong and compromise your integrity and your brand. My hope is that by sharing this with you today, that you have better insight about how to use the tools and avoid the dangerous pitfalls and provide more value to your audience than you ever have before with your content.